Hi friends, it's been a really long time since I uploaded a video and I do have one for you today. This video is a viewer request, and actually it's a very old request, but which I just came about to do. And she had asked me about my favorite sketchbook, but since I don't really have one favorite sketchbook, I decided to do a video showing you the various different ones that I usually use on a regular basis. And there's at the very beginning, I must say that this is not a sponsored video. This is just a collection of my sketchbooks which I love and I have been using for a while now. So this is in no way a product review. To begin, I'll be showing you this one. It's a leather-bound journal which I found at Hobby Lobby. It's a local craft store here, and this it's very rare to find a leather-bound one, and that with decal edges. I really love the fact when a handmade journal has a typical decal edge, and it really adds and enhances the look of your journal. Even if your insides are not so good, at least the outer part should look good. And this, I found it there. There were a couple of sizes. I picked up this one and another small one, and it's made of leather, so this feel to it is pretty soft and nice. It's embossed leather. The paper in itself is nice and smooth. It's not rough, so it does take watercolors very well. As you can see, this is the one I just to try. It's pretty new. I just picked it up a couple of days back, and I did try with my watercolors, and I can see that there is no bleed through. The back of the page is still good enough for me to use, and that is a big plus when you're working with sketchbooks. You just don't want to use just one side of the book. So this paper I really love, and it's nice, and I'll see how it goes. And this is the other size, the smaller one. There were very few decal edge ones, and the smaller one is not. It's just regular. It's been cut, but the size was appropriate for me to just put in my bag. So yeah, I love that book. The next one would be handmade paper. It's called kadi paper. This is a book that I've had for a very long time. I really don't know where I picked this one, and I have loved it. In fact, I use it pretty sparingly because I think it's hard to find, but then I saw a friend using it and she said if you go online you get a lot of kadi paper, so I have never really attempted to look again. But I did not find this very easy to work with watercolors, but it's good for graphite, it's good for sketch, it's good for watercolors as in pencils, any dry medium, and that's what I have used this for. I have used it also with India ink and just a light wash of watercolors. This is the India ink, and you can see how it bleeds through. If you leave your nib on for a very long time, it bleeds through, but if you just work quickly, then it's good enough. But I love the paper for dry mediums. So yeah, so that's what I'm showing you here. I'm just showing you how sometimes it bleeds through, sometimes. I think it just depends on how long you keep your nib on the paper. And this is India ink and watercolors. So, and since it's coming to an end and I'm using it sparingly, so the next one that I'll be showing you is another favorite of mine. It's handmade paper again, but it's easily available, and this I think I picked it up at Hobby Lobby. The square size is not available there. The longer ones, the landscape formats, those are available. I think this I picked it up online, and the paper itself is very textured. You need a little getting used to when you use this kind of paper, because your brush just skips over it, so you need to get used to it. But it's a learning curve, and I am getting there. This is extremely rough, and it's one of those books that I feel I shouldn't be using on a daily basis, because I just want to save it for those best painting days. But it's a very beautiful book. I love it. This one is far more smoother, and this is also something. This is the one I think I got at my craft store, and as you can see, the paper is pretty smooth and sized uniformly. I think kind of a tub sizing. The next one is your regular watercolor paper. It's 140 pound, the Strathmore that you find in your craft store, easily available. The paper is awesome. It takes paint very well, lifts easily, and that's your go-to journal if you just want to go to the craft store and pick up a journal. The next one is a spiral bound, which is really not one of my favorites because I'm not too fond of spiral bound because they're kind of bulky and they don't fit into your bag that easily. They get caught with stuff, and at the same time I don't like that metallic look. But for a daily journal, which is inexpensive, is one of the best ones to pick. And I had this for a very long time, used it. I have a couple of other ones which I've already used and kept aside. So yeah, this would be your go-to journal if you just want to do daily, everyday life sketching. You just want to get into the habit of sketching. You don't want to invest too much money into stuff which you might or you may not use, then this book is good. The paper is good, and that's what matters. The outside is something which is not really that important, but it's the inside which matters, and the paper is really good. The next one that I'll be showing you is something that I have made my own. So there was a time when I would just buy sheets of paper, the big sheets of paper, and I would bind them myself using the backing and the front from older journals or from older pads of paper. And that was easy for me because I was not finding a size this small to put in my bag and carry with me. So I made my own. You get a machine, it's a very portable machine, it's called Sutter, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, so you can get that. It's not very expensive, and once you have it, you can just keep using and make your own books. These two are my smallest ones, the smallest that I usually carry. One is my handbook journal, and the other one is, of course, a Moleskine. Every artist needs to splurge on a Moleskine at some point. So that one is a splurge. This one is not really watercolor paper, it's more kind of cartridge paper, and it works well for all mediums. It does take a good light wash of watercolors, and it was good enough. And it has a pocket in the back where you can keep your, if you're using it as a travel journal, you can keep your stamps, tickets, stuff, some souvenirs in it. But it does work very well. I have carried it a lot. It has held up very well, and this is also easily available, I think, at your craft store. I don't really remember where I picked it. This one is a Moleskine, and I use it very sparingly, and only when I'm really in the mood to do something which might look good in my Moleskine will I pick up this book. So this is a newer one. I think it's just been a year and a half since I picked it up, and I just done a couple of them. And of course, this is watercolor. There are different qualities of paper in Moleskine, and this particular one is a landscape format, and it is watercolor paper. So yeah, I think I covered most of my sketchbooks. I love sketchbooks. In fact, if there's one thing that I pick up whenever I go to a craft store or to an art supply store is a sketchbook, a new sketchbook. It kind of immediately gets me in the mood to do something. And there is something about picking up a sketchbook and starting something new, and there's no intimidation of white paper because it's small, it's tiny, you can keep using it. This one is one of my oldest sketchbooks, which just takes graphite. It's only for sketching, grocery lists, anything possible is there in this book, and that doesn't take watercolors so well. This is actually my answer to the girl who asked me, what is your sketchbook, what do you carry usually? And this is all I carry: my sketchbook, my paint, my palette of colors, a water brush, and a regular brush. That's all you would need. Of course, a tissue to wipe your brushes. And this is one of my favorites. This is not the first one that I picked up, so please don't go splurge on anything like this. But this is an expensive one, which I purchased just a couple of years back. But the other one that I'm showing you, the white one, is my very first one. I have used it. It's a workhorse. I have used up all the colors and then filled in my own colors later on with artist quality, because it started off as student quality. So keep your supplies simple and just go out and sketch, because I just cannot emphasize on the importance of a sketchbook, because it not only keeps a journal of your progress, it also makes you happy to work with, and as you look back and turn the pages, you see how far you have progressed. So do please keep a sketchbook and keep painting. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon again. Bye.